Let's change some carburetor jets. I have a version of this video up already, but the camera work did not pick up the details the way I had hoped, so getting into it again today. So let's see if I can get the camera a little closer and really capture the detail of what's going on. Tools, punch, pick, screwdriver. Although screws vary, sometimes it's I've seen Phillips, I've seen Torx, but they should be flat if it's original. Pliers, 1/2 inch ratchet, because we're doing it on the car. Also, I would not recommend using the pointy pick, but this one is not pointy anymore. It's more of just a punch, so we're good. Take a second to appreciate the delicate balance we have going on here. Be sure to leave space behind this pin back here so that at the end you can get your screwdriver behind it. Sometimes I have to use a thinner screwdriver at first. You obviously have to go far enough to get the arm to pop out, but just keep an eye on it and don't tap too far. Next, a couple clips to pull out. Okay, this side, you just push out of your choke pull off, and come straight off. Some of them, the older ones, like this, which is the carburetor made for this car, which we'll be getting on at some point. This arm is not made to come out of the choke pull off. In which case, all you have to do is pop this hose off and pull it off to the side, like so, and then the whole thing can come out. This one's a little trickier. It comes out of your choke door, and then just hold your finger to hold the choke all the way off, and just pull the mechanism with this hand. Pull it that way as far as you can, and then you want to push the bottom of the rod the other way, and you're just gently trying to wiggle that little tab down in there off of the end of the rod, and it'll come out and off. It's tricky, but just keep shaking it, vibrating it around, and it'll shake itself free. No, don't force it. You don't want to bend anything. Just keep wiggling it around until it comes right off, which it eventually will. Garbage truck. Just like that. Of course, when the garbage truck's going by. Next, we'll pull the secondaries out. Be sure it helps if you grab it and then just put your fingers on the outside here to keep them from falling out. Now the top is ready to come off, minus the bolts and the screws. Be sure to take the washers with the screws so they don't get lost. The bolts 9 screws, 2 down inside. Okay. I like to use pliers to grab these screws. Be sure if your screws have washers on them that you pick them up with the screw so you don't, especially some of them, they could easily fall down inside, so just be careful. 2 screws in the back are very long, like this. The 2 that are down inside are these short ones. And the other 5 are all the same, and they look like this. The top, once you get to this point with all your screws and all your linkages removed, just pulls straight up. This one's been off a bunch, so there's nothing holding it at all. If you have to lightly tap it or find a safe place to pry it a little bit, you can, but for the most part, it should come up without much resistance. Just like that. And if you were only needing to change your accelerator pump, this is where you would do it. Pull this one, pull your old one out, and then put a new one in. If your gasket is still in good shape, then just carefully pop it off of these pins. And your gasket is cut so you can remove it around your rods easily. Just need to make sure that it's free, or ready to move. You press down on this side, make sure it doesn't fall back on the pins. Press down on this side, pull up on the back, just get it. For your power piston, it takes itself out. You just push down and flick your finger off of it so that it pops itself up like so. This one came right out, but I've had it out a bunch. You might need to do that a few times. Float retainer next, should just come right out. Like so. For the float, grab this and put your finger on the side of the float as well. That way you can kind of pull it all up in a neutral position. Pull it straight up and then get both hands on it. Now that you're here, you can look down and your jets are right there. And for me, I'm changing the power piston spring today, and it's right down in there. So I'll just use my straight pick to reach in and grab it, and I'll soak up that gasoline and take those jets out. Power piston spring. This is a very light spring, and when I go just off idle, there's always a stumble, and I think it's because the rods aren't being pushed out of the jets soon enough. So we're gonna put a heavier spring in today. Make sure your screwdriver the screwdriver is too thick. I'm gonna have to grab a different one. My bit is too thick to get in the jet. So make sure your screwdriver gets all the way into the jet and makes good contact with both sides, and then just apply a firm, gentle pressure. Again, this has been apart a bunch, so it's pretty easy. Okay, I'm going to use this to pick up the jets. Use the straight one to reinstall the jets. The new jets, I went from, I had 68s, I'm putting 67s. Okay, just get our screwdriver in there, turn it backwards until it clicks into the thread, and then screw it down. You want it snug but not too tight. These are just brass. So yeah, be smart if you got this far. Cool. The new jets are in, and we're going with the blue heaviest spring because this car is pretty stock as far as its cam. So, and it pulls about 15 at idle, so this should be perfect. It's supposed to start releasing at 12. Next, put your float and the needle back in the seat. Make sure it operates. It's hard to see the needle moving when it's all together, but you can tell that it's falling down in there. Container. Okay, now we reinstall our rods. Power piston. This is the hardest part to do out of the car. Go. This is very tricky. You just gotta take your time. Okay. I had to do that twice. I found that sometimes if the retainer, and this might just be nothing, but for me with this carburetor, I found if the split in the retainer is directly in the back, it kind of binds up the power piston. So I just pulled it out and redid it. So you should be able to press down there's no all resistance is smooth here, all the way down, all the way up. Gasket, push down, make sure it goes underneath the rod retainer. You don't want to catch that with the gasket and mess it up. Don't forget to put your accelerator pump back in. Now your air horn. Line your accelerator pump up first because it's the tallest. And then line your crossover tubes as you drop it down. Okay. I like to start with the two in the middle because if you drop them, you can just pull it right back apart. Just running them down. Reinstall our secondaries. Usually this goes fairly easy. Just like that. I find this generally goes in easier than it comes out. Yeah, just like that. Under there, be sure it's on the inside of your choke actuator there. And it goes right back through there. These clips usually aren't too bad to get on with your hands, but you can also use whatever you need. Okay. For this, just put the tip on the accelerator pump like it's supposed to be. Push down until the hole lines up. And then with your other hand, just pry that pin right back to where it's supposed to be. And you're done. Okay, let's start it up. I don't have any gas in my gas squirt bottle, but if I did, I would just fill this vent tube up to fill the float bowl, and then we wouldn't have to crank it. But since I don't, we're just gonna crank this one.